Hello and good evening to you. Welcome to News 360 and it's live on news up here at Adesawe in Kanda. My name is Alfred Okansi.
I'm Natalie Fort. A look at the top stories this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxipade,
Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Premier Health Insurance, Calipo, and Nido Fortigro. Your love, their future.
Director General of Ghana Maritime Authority Kwame Owusu questions TV3's motive in carrying out stories he deems mischievous about him and the institution.
You are being a leader of championing the mischief. In the first place, you even have gone far to take a picture of my hotel and put it into it. So it's no wonder your question.
Also, a group of journalists rallying support to get the Right to Information bill passed, prevented from entering Parliament.
Also ahead this evening, some indigents of Japekrom in Accra call for the resignation or immediate removal of the German South Municipal Chief Executive over the recent shooting and killing of 3 persons.
Also, in business tonight, the Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana wants government to allocate adequate resources through the 2019 budget to implement one district, one warehouse initiative.
And on the foreign front, ex-nurse in Germany admits murdering 100 patients, making him one of the world's most prolific serial killers.
There's a lot more tonight here and in business. In sports tonight, we'll bring you details of how FIFA bans Nyantechi, the former GFA boss, for life. Fine him 500,000 for breaches. We'll bring you details of that tonight and more here on News 360. Feel free to share your thoughts with us. We're live on DSTV channel 279. To our first story this evening, where some indigents of Japekrom in Accra are calling for the resignation or immediate removal of the German South Municipal Chief Executive following the recent shooting and killing of 3 persons in the town. They claim his continuous stay in office could influence ongoing investigations into the case.
Honorable Alhaji Abu, the Municipal Chief Executive Officer of German South, is directly complicit in the orchestrated barbaric attack on innocent men, women, and children, and has no credibility to continue in office as MCE of the German South municipality.
The group noted the incident is a criminal case and should not be discarded under the guise of a non-existent land and chieftaincy litigation. The group called on the police to expedite action on their investigation and bring the perpetrators to book to calm the nerves of aggrieved family members.
Why did the MC ask for a meeting with the police at a critical moment and in the middle of the work, exposing the over 1,000 unarmed men, women, young and old, to their assailants? Couldn't Honorable Alhaji Abu suspend the so-called important meeting for just 20 minutes for the police to escort the pilgrims to their destination?
The group condemned the act, describing the incident as shameful and barbaric.
Let's turn to Parliament now, as Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu says the legislator cannot be pressurized to pass the Right to Information bill into law. Now, this was after a group of journalists rallying support to get the bill passed were prevented from entering Parliament House.
The media coalition on RTI had planned to storm the public gallery of Parliament to put pressure on the lawmakers to rectify the bill, which was on the day's order paper. After proceedings, the Majority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu said the legislators are committed in passing the bill into law, but cannot be forced to do so.
We know what we must do. We are not responding to any pressure. We know what we must do, and we'll do it. The people of this country have sent us here to do a good job for them, and that is what we are going to do.
He was, however, unsure if the bill would be passed before the reading of the 2019 budget on November 15 by the Finance Minister.
Even if we are not able to do it by then, when the budget is presented, we debate the principles. After the debate on the principles, then we go into various sectors to do the consideration of the various sector allocations. we usually have about a week before the reports start coming in. So altogether, I guess we have at least about 3-4 weeks. And I believe within the 3-4 weeks, we'll do whatever it takes to complete this bill.
The RTI bill has been in and out of Parliament for more than 10 years, with successive governments failing to pass it into law.
Let's just stay with Parliament. Now, persons with various forms of disability have been raising questions about Parliament's proceedings and structures being disability friendly. In response to this, Parliament has employed the services of sign language interpreters to enhance the work of the House as Parliament. This was announced by the Speaker, Professor Michael Quay, in his welcome address as the House resumed its sittings after recess.
It is the first time the legislature has employed the services of sign language interpreters. The Speaker in his opening remarks said he is hopeful the services of the sign language interpreters would enhance the work of Parliament and bridge the gap between the public and the House. Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu commended the Speaker for the innovation.
Let me commend you for the novelty of the sign language you have introduced as part of your reforms, except to say that the Communications Department must just observe the font as we are looking and reduce the size. When Mr. Speaker was himself giving his opening remarks, he almost got covered by it. Technology-wise, it can be repositioned or resituated. By the ideal thing of introducing this, Mr. Speaker, you have paid your dues to persons with disability to appreciate the work we do.
Parliament's Education Committee says it will begin the consideration of the 2019 fees and charges of all public universities from Thursday, November 1. Now, some members of the House have argued that increasing fees without parliamentary approval is unlawful.
The Fees and Charges Act 2009, Act 793, which was amended by the legislative instrument LI 2228-2016, seeks to safeguard the public against arbitrary and haphazard charges and levying of students by universities. The Act requires all vice-chancellors to seek parliamentary approval for whatever fees and levies they intend to charge before sending them out to students. Chairman of the Education Committee of Parliament, Siaka Stevens, disclosed that the University of Ghana had presented its fees and charges for the 2019 academic year.
The petition from Legon with regard to their fees charging 2018-2019 is there right now. I must commend them. So we are here to settle. We just reconvene and we want to put things together before we call them. So the memo has been referred to me right now as I'm speaking.
On the recent incident at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, the chairman indicated the committee would invite the education minister and relevant stakeholders on the matter.
All that we've been hearing, some of them are media, social media trends, others are this, that. The facts are disjointed. We don't get the correct situation on the ground. So as a nation, we should be able to know what is actually at stake, what happened, and where are we going from where we stand today. And I think for that, it will guide everybody. So we'll soon do that.
Now, to a story that we have been following for quite a while now, Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Kwame Owusu, has questioned TV3's motive in carrying out stories he deems as mischievous about him and the institution. Well, he was reacting to a leaked memo on payments made for a luncheon by the authority to his private hotel. Komla Kluche, who has been following and exposing a lot more on this story, brings us some details.
The Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Kwame Owusu, walked into the news conference after facing the board on Tuesday morning. His mission was simple: tearing down one by one the allegations of unjustified expenditure and conflict of interest.
We will not yield to people who want to extort. I will not yield.
With a compliment of the management team, the Director General was resolute. He is alleged to be holding 2 passports with different dates of birth. So the question was put.
The Minister has instituted some investigation to be conducted by the board. The very board you had indicated that had given approval of your hotel supplying lunch for the stakeholder meetings. Do you trust of a fair investigation?
You are being a leader of championing the mischief. In the first place, you even have gone far to take a picture of my hotel and put it in. So it's no wonder you're questioning. And if you are questioning the integrity of the board, if you are going to question, just as you've been doing, the integrity of the minister, it is not me to tell you whether the board will be fair or not fair. And I don't know whether you think you should have brought timber contractors to do that.
Then a second question was put.
Do you have any relationship with the contractor who is putting up the building that is supposed to house you, the contractor in name of One Apia Global Ventures?
Minister and heads of states, Kennedy and the rest, they have their brothers as this and that. I know of people, and the people are Ghanaians, that have the right to contest a tender. And if it's because of that, they will not be able to contest. I did not give it to anybody. It was run even outside of me. And you're going to stand here, as you have been asking questions, that because somebody happened to know me, they can never do a tender in this organization. Kamala, that is below the belt. Even if my wife was to disclose and tender, and he has the capability to do something, and we shouldn't give it and give it to our enemies, you would have been wrong. I did not make the decision. It was based on numbers. Kamala, please, let us not delve into trivialities. Enough for TV3. You've had enough.
Some supporters of the Director General heckled the reporter moments after the news conference.
Well, we're just committed to exactly putting out the truth and nothing else but the truth, and that's what you saw there. Let's still stay a bit further on this. Adam Senano is a co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. He joins me on Skype. Mr. Senano, thank you for your time this evening. Now, one thing we're learning is that the Transport Ministry has asked the board of this same maritime authority to investigate these concerns or allegations against the CEO, the MD of that particular institution. Is the board the right institution to do this investigation?
Well, good evening, Alfred. From earlier cases that we've had in this country, the appropriate court of interest in this instance would be the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, because earlier on we've had a Supreme Court ruling that shows that issues of conflict of interest ought to be delved into by the Commission, and they are the right quarters where they can do the investigation and give an objective view on this conflict of interest issue and what should be happening. I don't think that the board is the appropriate quarters, because they themselves are implicated in the process by virtue of what the chief executive has told us. And so it is not appropriate for the board to be the one investigating. If you want an objective and independent report on this that everybody will find credible, then to the Commission we must go.
Right. So how about the bit on the conflict of interest? Because you hit hard on that. He is actually confirmed that this hotel we're talking about is his, and now also confirming what we have been putting out all the while, which he describes as mischief. It's per the definition of a conflict of interest. Is it a classic case of conflict of interest? If it is, what should we be seeing government do about this? Hello, Mazano, can you hear me?
Well, I mean, until we have the facts, I think this in award of the contract was the chief executive. Yes, I can hear you. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now. I can hear you.
Okay. So, in the processes leading to the award, The question is this: did the chief executive recluse himself such that he was not involved in any way in any of the steps leading to the award? If he did recluse himself and on a purely independent, objective basis, a competent team put together, as it were, reviewed the bid or whatever proposal, and out of the various bids that were submitted, they found this particular entity competent and with the right type of pricing that would meet the needs of the institution, then yes, we don't have an issue. And it is only when this has been investigated that we can arrive at a conclusion that the chief executive did not influence any of these steps. He actually took steps to ensure that he was reclused, and that at the end of the day, the most competent and value for money bid was given. Then we can draw the conclusion that yes, this is a situation where he did not influence the process and there's no conflict of interest.
Zano, thank you for your time this evening. Adam Senano is a co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption.
Let's now turn to our MTN Video reports this evening as our citizen journalist Joseph Peter Suhuyini reports on an electric pole erected in the middle of a road leading to the industrial area of Savelegu in the northern region.
I am currently standing on the road. It is a main road linking the other side of the area called Patuli to the industrious area where they manufacture the shea butter. And in fact, this road is an important road in Savelegu. And here is the case. We have an incident on the road. We have an electric pole erected in the middle of this important road. I actually don't know whether the pole was there before the road constructor did the road, or they did the road after which the VRA people too erected the electric pole. This pole can cause a lot of accidents on this road. So I am pleading on the rightful authorities that they should come to our aid and remove this pole. I am Joseph Peter Suhuyini, reporting from Savelegu.
Clearly a very wrongly pole erected there needs to be addressed immediately. We encourage you to also send your video report via our WhatsApp number. It's 055-1433-044. We'll delve into the world of business shortly with Kwesi Asari here on NEWS360. Stay with us.
Hello, a very good evening and a warm welcome to the Business Report on NEWS360. My name is Kwesi Asari. Let's begin with stories ahead of the 2019 budget statement and economic policy for the country. Well, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is set to present the 2019 budget and policy statement of the government to Parliament on November 15, 2018. This was announced by the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, on Tuesday. Well, according to the Speaker, this will be followed by the post-budget workshop and consideration of the sectoral budget estimates by the committees of the House. In a related development, the Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana, ISEARCH, wants government to allocate adequate resources through the 2019 budget to implement One District, One Warehouse initiative. Well, according to the Institute, the intervention provides the hinge for the country's attempts to modernize agriculture and industrialize.
It has to get that commitment that government has given to when it comes to the One District, One Factory. Again, when it comes to the free SHS project, and then planting for food and jobs. All these projects have received much attention, but it appears that the One District, One Warehouse, the awareness of it hasn't, catch up with the people. So government needs to raise that commitment. With the 2019 budget, we expect to see more coming from government in regards to allocation when it comes to the One District, One Warehouse. We think that ministry needs much attention.
The One District, One Warehouse project is a component of the government's Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, IPEP. According to the Institute, the construction of the warehouse could help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals 1 and 2 by boosting the country's effort to promote food security.
Our labor force, having majority of the people in agriculture. So if we have agriculture, many of our people in agriculture, then the linkage between agriculture and industry will fit with this particular project, which is the One District, One Warehouse. Of course, when we are getting towards agricultural modernization, then we are increasing the job creation in that particular sector with regards to agri and then industry. And then it is going to lead to, poverty reduction and job creation in the economy.
He noted the initiative will positively impact on the country's economic indicators.
This particular project will be very good in terms of controlling food inflation. When we have to get the harvest all year round, then we have that preservation in place. Then food inflation, which comes as a result of seasonal issues regards to the agricultural sector, could be curtailed to a large extent. When you look at the external sector with regards to our trade balances to import-export, with this particular project well established, then we can be very sure that we'll have our cedi depreciation also, being curtailed.
The Institute of Economics Ghana requested government to renovate all warehouses as it constructs new ones. Government intends to build a commodity warehouse in each of the 260 districts to store the anticipated surplus produce in the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative.
Meanwhile, as the Finance Ministry readies to present the 2019 budget in November, stakeholders are concerned about government's drive towards increasing domestic revenue mobilization. They are calling on government to focus on the informal sector in order to lessen the burden on the formal sector. And Rafael, my colleague, has the following report.
As the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, prepares to submit the 2019 budget statement and economic policy, several civil society groups have been making inputs for consideration. Oxfam's Citizen and Accountable Governance Manager Abdul Karim Mohammed has called for innovations in tax administration which will shift focus to the informal sector. He wants the implementation of existing technology that reduces human cash handling and ensures accountability.
We propose the idea of, for instance, a tax kiosk within the areas where, the markets are, at our neighborhoods, Abosokai and the rest. So that if I'm supposed to go and pay, let's say, 200 cedis worth of tax, I don't have to spend hours in Accra traffic and go all the way to GRA to be able to do that.
Other issues that have been raised include the need for tax reforms to digitize the collection process.
If you are broadening the system and you're not tackling these inefficiencies, we'll still have a leakage. What do you say?
I agree with you perfectly. We need to address the inefficiencies. We need to address even the attitude of the tax authorities to ensure that this digitization agenda becomes fully complete. If you know that this digital thing has captured you, you would be willing to share information as quickly as possible.
The Dean of Students at the University of Ghana, Professor Godfred Bokpin, believes analyzing government spending with regards to revenue generation is important to put fiscal disparities in perspective.
In 2017, we were assured of how the revenue envelope could go up with certain measures. We came to 2018, similar assurances with policies here and there and with the media review and the policy measures. But of course, we haven't seen the data, how the revenue envelope is responding to these measures. The fundamentals of the economy haven't changed so much. We are not in a position where we can do drastic reforms to our economy.
Professor Bokpin has meanwhile urged Ghanaians to manage their expectations and focus on initiating democratic and development outcomes in the country.
Well, so there's been a real estate development summit in Accra, and stakeholders were brought together to find solutions, lasting solutions to challenges within the real estate industry.
In a rapid increase in demand for new and modern commercial facilities, creating a huge demand for a variety of solution providers in the West African markets. These require not only high-end suppliers, but also service providers whose pricing is competitive by market standards. At the second edition of the Real Estate Development Summit organized in Accra, stakeholders in the real estate sector outlined the opportunities and challenges in the real estate market.
We have to respect what other countries have built. And if we want to emulate that, we have to find a way to partner them and bring them into our countries. So based on that, they can create some sort of educational platforms that people will be able to learn from how those things were institutionalized, how those things were incorporated. And so for me, I see it as a movement throughout Africa.
Director of Capital Markets of Jones Lang Lasso, Lanre Fatmiland, noted access to finance was a challenge in the sector.
When you look at the real estate space and development in this part of the world, there are many issues. Big problem is financing. So people can identify the need and they know what to do, but getting the funding is very difficult, whether from the capital markets, whether from banks, financial institutions. It's a problem. The flow of credit is just not there.
The summit brought together developers, investors, architects, contractors and consultants to explore best practices. An award ceremony was also held to award stakeholders who have excelled in the industry. Group Chief Executive Office of Landmark Africa, Paul Nwunabe, was the recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, that's it for the Business News on News 360. Thanks very much for watching. My name is Pa Kwesi Asare. For more business news stories, do log on to our website, www.3news.com. Over to you, Alfred. Thank you, Pakwesi, with business. Now to some of the stories from the presidency, where German conglomerates Siemens AG will soon announce its intention to establish its presence in Ghana. The move, according to President Akufo-Addo, is a testament to the efforts of government at creating a congenial environment for the private sector to thrive.
President Akufo-Addo made this known when he delivered his remarks at the ongoing G20 Compact with Africa conference being held in Berlin in the Federal Republic of Germany. Siemens AG is the largest industrial manufacturing company in Europe. Siemens' decision, together with that taken by German car manufacturer Volkswagen, to establish an assembly plant in Ghana.
We're not resting on our oars. We'll continue to work hard to attract investments, domestic and foreign, into Ghana, so that we can unleash the sense of enterprise, creativity, and innovation of the Ghanaian people and help build a progressive, prosperous Ghana whose citizens live in harmony and security.
Also at the conference, HL Habanga Lestenfelder GmbH, a leading manufacturer and supplier of specialist feeds and compound feeds in Germany, signed an €8 million agreement to invest in Ghanaian company Agricare Limited. President Akufo-Addo lauded Germany's decision to reorient its policy and relationship with Ghana and Africa from one based on aid to trade and investment cooperation.
My government's vision of moving our country to a situation beyond aid, i.e. a Ghana beyond aid, is aligned to Germany's Compact with Africa program. Under my leadership, we're determined to discard the mindset of dependence on aid, charity, and handouts, and aim towards becoming self-reliant within the context of strong global cooperation.
President Akufo-Addo reiterated his administration will continue to implement policies to encourage and empower the private sector to grow the Ghanaian economy.
We believe that when the private sector flourishes and when our enterprises become competitive, not just on the continent, but also in the global marketplace, then we can create the thousands and thousands of jobs our teeming masses of unemployed youth crave.
You're watching News 360. Now stay with us as in sports, we bring you the details on FIFA's ban on former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi, as well as a fine of 500,000 Swiss francs. Stay with us.
Hello, good evening, and it's time for me to bring you all the latest from the world of sports right here on News 360. My name is Thea Winyan. The big story, of course, circulating in the last couple of hours is that former Ghana Football Association president, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, has been banned for life by FIFA. Now, a statement released by the world governing body read, the adjudicatory chamber of the Independent Ethics Committee has banned Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, former president of the Ghana Football Association, that's GFA, for life from all football-related activities, administrative, sports, or any other, at both national and international level. The adjudicatory chamber found Mr. Nyantakyi guilty of having violated Article 19, Article 21, and 22 of the FIFA Code of Ethics. Now, as a consequence, Mr. Nyantakyi is banned for life from all football-related activities, and it's been categorized here, administrative, sports, or any other, at both national and international level. Additionally, a fine in the amount of 500,000 Swiss francs, that is equivalent to almost 500,000 US dollars, has been imposed on Mr. Nyantakyi. Now, the decision was notified to Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi today, and the ban comes into force immediately he steps away from football. We'll definitely be bringing you developments to this particular story. It all started from June 6 when Anas Arimiao Anas, released that number 12 expose. Since then, the lives of several football officials in this country have not been the same, even across our borders. I'm talking about the referees who are also involved. But let's go straight to some of the stories. I'm talking about women's football. The Black Maidens, they should be in perspective ahead of the World Cup. Now, they will finalize preparations for the 7th FIFA Under-17 World Cup with a trip to the United States of America in the coming days. Now, expectations are high as always, but some of the officials and playing members of the team are very confident of making the nation proud.
Since placing third at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, Ghana has generally struggled to replicate any such success. Prior to that tournament, the Black Maidens had finished in the first round twice, while leaving the tournament in the quarterfinals on 2 other occasions. The expectation is to fight on to a first final appearance, and the signs have been good so far. Ghana's team made it to this year's tournament with a record 26 goals scored in the qualifying games, having beaten Djibouti 19-0 and Gambia 7-1. The team has been engaging in several low-profile friendly matches at their camp in Pram Pram, and are expected to embark on the tour of the United States as part of preparations for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Evans Adote is the coach of the Maidens and is confident his ladies can make the nation proud.
This time round, in fact, I've tasked myself to ensure that I go beyond where the success we chalked in 2012. If possible, I will play in the finals and make sure we win the ultimate. So the way forward looks bright, although it is too early to predict. We are on course.
Mukarama Abdullahi, who led the top scoring charts in the qualifying rounds, also set sight on the individual top awards in Uruguay.
I'm excited because it's going to be an experience for me as individual, and then the whole team and myself as an attacker. I wish maybe after everything I'll be the goal queen, all the players.
Ghana has been drawn in Group A of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup alongside tournament hosts Uruguay, New Zealand and debutant Finland.
All right, so away from there, let's do some club football still on the African continent. And remember, Ghana are able to just send one club to the CAF competitions. I'm talking about the Champions League, maybe another one in the Confederations Cup. But Nigeria have had their spots reduced to just one. Nigeria have lost their right to enter 2 clubs into each of the annual African club competitions after years of poor results. A communique from the Confederation of African Football and signed by Anthony Bafo, that's the Deputy General Secretary, shows that the Nigeria Professional Football League, that's the NPFL, will henceforth from 2018-2019 CAF Champions and Confederations Cup seasons only be eligible to send just one team each to the competition. So they will have 2 representatives in total. It comes as Nigeria have fallen out of the top 12 of the CAF rankings of club competition results over the last 5 years. All right, so that's exactly where we bring an end to the sports bulletin. Remember, the big story tonight is that Kwesi Nyantakyi has been banned for life by FIFA. We'll bring you developments to that story later on Sports Unlimited and other subsequent bulletins right here on TV3. My name is Thea Winyan. Keep watching TV3.
Hello, good evening. My name is Miriam Osei Ajaman. Let's do some entertainment news. Tonight, we focus on Gamro and your strategy to tackle piracy. Now, the music piracy is a bane of the entertainment industry as it denies composers revenue due them. Unlike the age-old arrest and fine them approach, the Ghana Music Rights Organization, GAMRO, intends to legitimize the activities of pirates and in return, claim a share of their revenue. Owusu Warai spoke to the chairman of GAMRO, Rex Omar, in June of this year.
Chairman of the Ghana Music Rights Organization, Rex Omar, admits the fight against piracy has been difficult. The celebrated musician blames the boom in the activities of pirates to poor implementation of laws meant to protect intellectual property.
The implementation is what we need to tighten. It's not an easy fight, but we will get there.
The Collection Society wants to be dialoguing with the music pirates they have a tough time fighting.
Instead of criminalizing them, let's legitimize them, regulate them, and let them do it legitimately so that we earn something and they earn something. After all, we would have been creating jobs for the new generation instead of chasing them. So our strategy is we are coming out very soon with some branded kiosks that we call it Gamro Download Bay. We give you this kiosk and then it's a laptop loaded with a repertoire. So the laptop itself will log whatever you are selling. So people will come there, the new song is released. People can go there with their pen drives, with their mobile phones and whatever to go and get the music downloaded and pay a pittance for it. So at the end of the day, whatever song you downloaded for people is recorded on the system. You get your share, Gamro get the share and transfer it to the owner of the song.
Gamro hopes to launch a pilot of the Gamro Download Bay by the end of 2018 to test its feasibility.
Now, so how are the pirates themselves taking this? Owusu Warai once again interacts with Faisal Fatau, a youngster who's been in the music download business for the past 5 years.
What's your name? My name is Bidaraba. What do you do? I'm a software engineer. And so what does your work entail? Software engineer, what do you do? Like, I program software for peoples and also pull music and video for peoples. Right. And you pull music and video, and how much do you take in return? How much do they have to pay to take the music and video? One music is 20 pesos, but the video is 50 pesos. Why? Because the music, Charlie, is huge. It takes a lot of time to put the music together, go to the studio, record, and do a lot of things before it comes out. So 20 pesos is too small. I want my people to enjoy. That's why they give them 20 pesos. You didn't create that music. Somebody created it, and so it is their work. It's not your work. It is my work because I pull it from internet with my credit. That's why I try to sell them with my energy. So if you sell it, you have to go and give part of the money to them. Why? Because I paid on internet. You should think about them too. That's low because me paying them there. You have to think about them too. You have to drop something for them. Okay, if they bring rules and regulations there, we go follow. Like they should bring a man to pay this to them, then they should leave us doing our job. To do your job. Now, no, they want to come and talk to you and give you laptops. They give you a very nice kiosk. So they say, oh, this is your kiosk, this is your laptop. What about tickets? They'll give you tickets and everything. So work, download music for people
And at the end of the month, whatever you get, they'll give you part of the money, they'll take part of the money, and you feel free and work.
Okay, that's too is nice. If they bring that idea there, we'll go follow. Because already we are enjoying the music and enjoying the money too. So if they like, yeah, they should do them fast.
Well, that's about it for entertainment news tonight. I'm Miriam Osei Ajman. There's more on 3news.com. Good evening.
Good evening, Miriam.
Good evening.
Gambro, it was about time.
It is about time.
Because any human being takes
and it's just quite true, you know, if it's an open market and it's unregulated, well.
Weak structures, lack of implementation of rules. It's very important. My name is Alfred Akanse. On behalf of the rest of the team, we're grateful.
I'm Natalie Fort. There's more news on 3news.com. Thanks so much for watching and have a lovely evening.